Perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction, David. Really excited to be here with everyone at NorthstarMLS, and I'm very thankful for everyone showing up. It looks like we have some wonderful attendance. So, without further ado, what I'm gonna do is take you into a few Local Logic products. There's 3 products we're gonna review today, and one of them is local content, and the other is local demographics. These are tabs in Matrix that are currently available to you and will be attached to the listing details page. So I'll demo those 2 first. Those are paid for by Northstar. They're included with your membership. And like I said, they're automatically attached onto the listing details page. The third product, NeighborhoodIntel Reports, is a culmination of these products, as well as other data such as some market trends data, some climate risk data, and it's in a nice PDF that you can export, put your name and branding on it, and send it out to clients easily in a PDF or a link format. So I will take you through each one nicely, and as David said, we'll do some Q&A at the end. So Local Logic is a company founded out of Canada, actually, and the thing that our mission statement is location is hard to understand, measure, and compare. This is what we've done as a company, and what our kind of mission statement is to take a lot of those details and information around outside the 4 walls of a property and quantify this. It's obviously very difficult to quantify things like neighborhood, right, or commute mode. So we actually have the industry standard scoring for proximity scoring on locations, points of interest. And I'm going to go and show you what that looks like in a live demo right now. So after I've logged into Matrix and I click on a listing details page, let's pick this one. All you have to do is go click neighborhood right here, and Local Logic's local content product will pop right up there. So as you can see here, this is the house that we're looking at, and we know we like the house. It fits our client's buy box. However, they're asking me questions about what's outside the 4 walls. Is it the area they want to live in? Is it going to be a good fit? Can they get their Starbucks in the morning? So let's go through each tab and see what it looks like. Okay, well, we've got a 10 out of 10 driving score, which means that it's very easy to get around, and there's major freeways, arteries, and things to get around. So we're also going to check, is there a gas station nearby in case I'm running late to work and I need to get there? Is it on my way? All that. And then same for the other questions. Maybe your client is asking, I don't have a car. Is this somewhere that I can use public transportation to? This will answer that question. It sounds like a 1.7 for this location out of 10, so maybe not the best property if they're relying on public transportation. But the other nice thing to mention about these scores is we try to be, as much as it is marketing, it's also objective. So what we want to do is really explain what the neighborhood's like, and that's what this does. So you might see this initial score and you see a 1.7 out of 10, you think that's low, but actually in compared to the average in this neighborhood, it's actually not low. It's slightly below average. So something to really recognize when you do look at these is don't just look at this score, look at what the location average is in the area, because that's really how you can compare it to. So maybe your client, you can say, well, it's maybe not public transport as if you're in downtown Minneapolis, but it's pretty on par with anywhere else in that neighborhood. Now, amenities is going to be anything from all your points of interest, grocery stores, cafes, restaurants, shopping. Again, these scoring is proximity scoring. It's not saying that the grocery stores or the cafes are not good or they're better. It's just saying how many options you have in the area and how easy it is to get to them. So on this map and all these tabs, we can see this little feature. We can click walking or driving. Oh, can I walk to a grocery store? Looks like I can. There's a Safeway right there. Wonderful. Cafes, all these buttons have that same functionality. So how many restaurants are in the area that I can walk to? Because that's something I like to do. Now, character, I really like this tab because it's not something that you'd be able to find elsewhere or anywhere. It's going to tell you if it's loud or quiet in the neighborhood. And then it's going to give you, if there are things like nightlife, keeping it open, keeping noises out at night, it's going to tell you where they are. Vibrancy is actually taking in the decibel levels. So if you're near a main highway or you're near an airport, it might not have the actual airport on there as a point, but it is going to take in that noise. Emergency services, maybe you're near a street where the fire trucks are always going by, or the ambulances, it's going to take in all that too. So you might know the neighborhood, but maybe your client is asking you what it's like on Friday night or Monday morning. This tab right here is going to help answer those questions. So here we see a 4.9, it's average on quiet, but it is a little louder than the average in the area. So the average area is 8.2. So really important to note and look at. I find that really relative. Schools, again, I always like to remind her this is all proximity scoring. So the schools are not bad in this area. It just means there's only one option, and it is going to tell you whether they're public or private. So this got a 0.4 just because there's only one option in the area for high schools. It's going to include all your daycares and the location of those two. And like I said, the nice functionality is you see more of these, you can scroll down to each one, see if they're public or private. Under tab is nature, very self-explanatory, but I think very awesome, especially in Minnesota. You know, you've got a lot of green space up there, so it's going to have all your parks in there. Maybe not so useful right now this time of year, but in the summer, phenomenal. The other product that I'm going to show you is the local demographics. So all I had to do here, again, is just click on the demographics tab, and it automatically populates. Important thing to mention here is this is all Census Bureau data. So we've taken it from the Census Bureau. There's no fair housing issues with this because we've just taken their data and we've made it into a product. We're not putting any other data sources in here. So as you can see here, this is going to be a nice breakdown of the income level, you know, employment. So you can really kind of get to know what the demographics of the neighborhood are like, population, and housing breakdown. Owner versus renter, a very common question that you'll get that I'm sure you're getting asked, you know, are there a lot of renters or owners in the area? What's the household composition like? Is it families, couples, singles? This is, again, plays, you know, all those answers that maybe you have someone you're talking to, it's about buying a home and you're servicing the other side of town, a different neighborhood that you're not as familiar with. This will help answer all those questions on what it's like from a demographic standpoint. And then here, not a huge surprise that most of the people are driving around the area or working from home. So those are two of the Local Logic products, like I said, that are available now free in Matrix on any listing details pages. After that, I'm going to go over and show you what our paid product is, NeighborhoodIntel. Now, oh, I'm sorry. So when you log in, there's going to be an SSO tile on the dashboard. And when you log in and see the NeighborhoodIntel SSO tile, you'll click it just the way you would click, you know, any other tile. And it's going to bring you into this page. So when you log in, you'll see this. Very simple. Look at it like a Netflix subscription. You're paying $20 a month for unlimited reports that you can use for yourself and send them out to clients. They don't have to have a login to receive these reports. And there's no gates. So if you had a client that you were selling a home for and used this report and you wanted to print them a buyer's report for somewhere else in the country, because they didn't have an agent yet, or they do, but they want one of these, you can do that too with your subscription. So here, just to go through the tabs real quick, is personal information. This is where you do your branding, your photo, put your company site, social media links, all of that. So when you send it out to your client, it looks really nice and you don't have to do anything but click copy, send, or download as PDF, whatever you'd prefer. The other tabs here, subscription is just going to be where you put your credit card and payment in. Support, say, you know, there's a new restaurant in the area and it's not on there. You just message support. We try to get it up immediately. Even if it's just, you know, new cafe, that's still important to us. So I am going to put in an address. Small fun fact, I was born in Bloomington, so I'm going to pick an address that I spent a lot of holidays with at my old grandparents' house. So let's look up West 88th Street. So as I was saying here, the nice thing about these reports is you can just click copy link and even text, email anyway, and just send that over to any of your clients or anyone rather. Or you could download it right here and it'll come out as a nice PDF. So here, the first page, it's got the location, and then it's got a nice contents table page. So you can see each one. To manage sections, say, for example, we don't like one of the areas in there because it just doesn't look good. It's not what our client was asking for. or we don't like that the transportation is limited on public transportation. So we're going to remove that. And you just click that, remove it, and you'd hit save, sorry. And you'd hit save down here whenever any changes you want to make. Now we're going to go down the report. You will see a little bit of overlap. Like I said, it's kind of taking local content and local demographics and then adding more data and more information, and it's a different format. So again, this is really nice because even for yourself, maybe you're servicing a different part of the city that you're not familiar with. This is going to answer all those questions. Say you're even on the phone with a client and you want to be able to talk about the neighborhood that you maybe didn't know as well as other neighborhoods. You could read from the page. You could take a quick look at this before the call or during and answer a lot of these questions. Is it car friendly? Are people walking around? What it's like? So, this area I know pretty well, and I think these scores are accurate of the representation. It is walkable. There is some stuff in the area. I wouldn't say it's urban where you can walk to everything. And it is very car friendly. And there's a little bit of bus and public transportation, and there's a lot of people cycling around. That's something I used to love doing in Bloomington. So, you'll notice this is kind of what we talked about, character services on the other webinar, on the other products earlier on the webinar, and that's all the same explanations and answers. This is something new. This is a nice description of each. So it's going to talk about the neighborhood, the area on a transportation, a services, and a character level. So again, really nice to just send out to a client or even yourself read from the page if you're kind of still learning an area that you're showing clients' houses in. The transportation, again, this actually has each bus stop and line. So if you're curious about that and your clients don't have a car, and this is really effective, and it's also going to have the gas stations. So if they're looking for that. Amenities, just like our local content app, all of that same data, but again, here in a nice page format. Education, also the same. The scoring is not quality, it is proximity. So it's not saying that the schools in Bloomington are bad. It's just saying that they're not so close to each other because it's a little more suburban area. Character, went through that one earlier as well. I think this is a very well represented because I know this area in terms of being quiet. And then nature. We've got a lot of parks in this area. Another great thing about Bloomington. There's lakes, parks, everything. Here's the demographic portrait. So like the tab that we looked at in Matrix, however, I really like the way it's visually designed and the way it's represented. You can read a little bit, but it's got a really nice breakdown and graphs, so you can kind of see that really clearly and easily without having to prepare too much. These are really nice. Say you were showing your client like 5 houses in one day, you have one of these for each one you're showing them, so you can give it before, during, or after to really supplement maybe whatever else you're sending along about the listing they're checking out. Housing breakdown, again, nice representation of what are the single family homes? Is it apartments? A lot of questions that I'm sure you'll get asked when people are looking at homes. What's the area? Owner versus renter breakdown. And then here's a piece of data that is not on the other products I've shown you. It's market trends. So as you can see here, I'm sure this is interesting because that's a big question you're going to get asked. Are prices going up? Are they going down? What is the buying going on? Like, what are the financials of the neighborhood? This is going to answer those questions and hopefully basically say, this is what's going on economically. This is economic portrait of the neighborhood. And this is why I think we need to move and purchase now so that the home doesn't go up. And then this too, the climate aspect. This is obviously not what I've showed you on the other products. So we have a climate risk representation. It's clearly not so much of a heat problem potentially. Storms, not a huge concern, which is nice. It might put their mind at ease if they're moving from another state, and they might be like, oh, do we have to worry about storms in Minnesota? Well, not so much. It's only a 52 out of 100. Fire, not a concern. Obviously not a drought, and not a flood concern. So this is the whole report. Right now, I'm going to go into in a few minutes in Q&A. So if there are any questions, I welcome them. And I hope that I did a good job going over all the highlights and value adds and you really appreciate the demo that I've given to you today.